Hi guys, it's me, Skyler Capri, and today we're talking about the Everyday Luxuries collection at Bath & Body Works, which are currently on sale for $5.95. Not only could you shop it right now, you'll also be able to shop these at the Body Care Day sale in 2 weeks. So I really wanted to make sure that you knew what these fragrances were a dupe of, whether you really like the higher end fragrances or just looking to try out a bunch of higher end fragrances on a budget. I think this is a great collection. Now we're gonna start off with Pink Obsessed. So Pink Obsessed is said to be a dupe of the Valentino Donna Born in Roma perfume. Now on the screen, I will have the Bath & Body Works Fine Fragrance Mist and its corresponding perfume or fragrance bottle. While even though you might not recognize the name, you might recognize the bottle. So the scent notes on Pink Obsessed are blushing jasmine, cashmere praline, and vanilla bourbon, which are very similar to the Valentino scent notes of 3 qualities of jasmine and vanilla bourbon. There is some good overlap there. A lot of people said this was nearly identical and said that Pink Obsessed was great to throw in their work bag or traveling, so they didn't need to bring the glass bottle of the Valentino perfume, but they were still able to reapply throughout the day. Now the next one is Petal Parade. Petal Parade is a little bit of a deeper pink bottle, and this one is said to be a dupe for either the Prada Paradox or the Carolina Herrera Good Girl. Now Petal Parade has scent notes of neroli petals, orange flower, and white woods. If you're unfamiliar with neroli, it is sort of a citrusy floral with a little bit of bitterness as sort of the background. I tried to look up what these sort of not confusing, but just like uncommon or not direct scent notes are, so that I can share with you guys something you might know of. So neroli is sort of like a citrusy floral. Prada Paradox has scent notes of orange blossom, neroli, and jasmine sambac. And then the Carolina Herrera Good Girl has scent notes of almond, jasmine, and orange blossom. Very similar overlap with a lot of these. In my research, these weren't really exact. I think Petal Parade was the closest to Prada Paradox, not exact, but this was just a good idea of some similar fragrances that Petal Parade might be a dupe of. Now, moving on into Lost in Santal. Lost in Santal is said to be a pretty spot-on-spot dupe of the Le Labo Santal 33. Very similar in names as well, and it comes in this really gorgeous green packaging. Now, Lost in Santal is said to have scent notes of warm cardamom, satin sandalwood, and cedarwood, while the Le Labo Santal 33 is said to be cardamom, sandalwood, and Virginia cedar. Almost spot on scent notes between the two of them, very identical. If you're unfamiliar with cardamom, cardamom sort of has a warm, sweet, and spicy scent note. It's commonly used in scents that have like a lot of wood in them, especially cedar, to sort of bulk up the scent and make it a little bit more intense. Moving on into Floral Fantasy. Now, Floral Fantasy is said to be a pretty good dupe of Flower Bomb by Viktor and Rolf. I don't think this is an exact dupe. From the research I did, it was very similar. Again, more of a layering or a substitute, lighter version, but not identical. The Flower Bomb has scent notes of peach osmanthus, jasmine, and warm patchouli, while the Flower Bomb has scent notes of osmanthus, African orange flower, jasmine, and patchouli as well. Now, when I was looking this up, I really had no idea what osmanthus was, and osmanthus is said to have a fruity floral scent commonly associated with apricot and peach, as well as a hint of leather. So very unique scent. I don't think I've owned anything with that scent note in it, but again, Floral Fantasy is supposed to be very similar to Flower Bomb by Viktor and Rolf. Now, moving on to Viva Vanilla, I think this one is honestly the most TikTok famous or the most comparable. This one is said to be a spot-on-spot dupe of Eilish by Billie Eilish. So Viva Vanilla has scent notes of rich plum, glowing amber, and addictive vanilla, while Eilish by Billie Eilish has red berries, amber, and vanilla. Now, this Billie Eilish perfume is the first edition. She has released, I believe, 2 subsequent ones, so this is the original Eilish. I don't remember smelling this. I'm sure I had, I just can't remember it in my brain right now, but a lot of people said these were very similar, and I think even the color of the packaging is very similar as well. Moving on to On the Horizon. Now, On the Horizon is said to be a dupe of Replica's Sailing Day. Now, On the Horizon and Replica Sailing Day are very, very aquatic scents. Honestly, both of these are marketed as unisex, I'm pretty sure, so it's a very watery scent. On the Horizon has scent notes of watery bergamot, lotus blossom, and driftwood moss, while Replica's Sailing Day has scent notes of marine bergamot, lotus, cedar, and amberwood. Very similar in their scent notes, and I think this would make a great gift for really anybody that you're shopping for who likes sort of a watery type of fragrance or a marine type of fragrance. Now, the next one is Getaway Soiree, and this one has scent notes of Sunkissed Mandarin, Tuberose, and Solar Musk. This one is said to be similar, but not an identical dupe of Tom Ford's Soleil Blanc. Now, Tuberose is said to be an intense sort of floral scent. It's commonly used with other white flowers like jasmine and gardenia, as well as having some sweet and almondy notes, almond and honey as well. Now, the thing with this one, what really the Tom Ford one had that the Getaway Soiree was missing, was that Getaway Soiree was a little bit more citrusy, a little bit orangey, while the Tom Ford is more like you've been laying on a beach all day, like an endless summer type of vibe. So Getaway Soiree, again, has Sunkissed Mandarin, Tuberose, and Solar Musk, while the Tom Ford Soleil Blanc has Tuberose, ylang-ylang, and coconut. So I think the Tom Ford is a bit more tropical, but I feel like this would be a good substitute, extra layering. Don't want to bring the Tom Ford one or buy a miniature version of that, bring the Getaway Soiree. Also, I think the packaging just screams that tropical. I really like the apricot-y kind of orange color. Next is If You Musk. Now, If You Musk is said to be spot for spot for Glossier's You. Now, If You Musk has scent notes of iris, pink pepper, and airy musk, and the Glossier You has scent notes of sparkling pink pepper, earth iris, and musk. Personally, this one just does not work with me at all. I think it's the pepper note, just really does not mix with my skin chemistry, but a lot of people that loved Glossier You said this is a really good dupe for it. I think this would be, again, great to throw in your bag as that Glossier bottle is glass. Also, another thing to keep in mind, I think the Glossier perfume is the least expensive one we'll talk about from a higher end perspective. That one retails for $90, and this If You Musk is currently on sale for $5.95. So you are saving like $85. Great deal if you know somebody who loves this scent or you've been wanting to try that one out, but definitely don't want to pay the $90 for it. We are almost at the end. We're cutting to the last two. So the first one is Covered in Roses. Covered in Roses is a really nice pink bottle. This pink looks very similar to the Perfect in Pink, sort of bright pink. And this one is said to be a pretty good dupe of the Delina by Perfume de Marly. Really stunning bottle. I had no idea what the name of that one was, but I instantly recognized the bottle. Covered in Roses has scent notes of ruby berries, sugared rosebuds, and blushing amber, while the Delina by Perfume de Marly has scent notes of Turkish rose, lychee, and rhubarb, and then vanilla and incense. So again, I'm not sure if this was an exact dupe, more of a similarity, but I can already see the similarities in the rose and then the amber in comparison to the vanilla and incense. So I think if you like Delina by Perfume de Marly, the Covered in Roses might be a good, inexpensive ulterior option. Lastly, we have Oh Cherry, and this really got a lot of TikTok fame around it, as this is supposed to be a very good dupe for Tom Ford's Lost Cherry, which is very popular. A lot of people have been loving the cherry scents coming out at Bath & Body Works. The Oh Cherry at Bath & Body Works has scent notes of black cherry, sheer magnolia, and tonka bean, while Tom Ford's Lost Cherry has scent notes of black cherry, jasmine sambac, and tonka bean. Very clear sort of overlap in the scent notes there. Also, love that they have the bright red bottle for Oh Cherry. That's immediately what I think of when I think of cherry, so I think they did a really good job. Overall, the packaging on these definitely looks very expensive, and if they're not on sale for $5.95, these guys are retailing for about $18.95, so definitely a big price increase. I'd say if you're interested in any of the high-end fragrances, go ahead and pick those up today, or pick those up on the body care date where you're going to be able to get them for that $5.95 price point as well. If you're interested about the upcoming sales, such as Black Friday or Cyber Monday, I have videos on those, which will be linked in the cards now. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, found it helpful. Just a quick overview of the $5.95 Everyday Luxury sale, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye guys.